Hey, Fred Minnick here, and today we are going to jump into the craft scene in one of the most important craft distillers of the 21st century, and that is Chattanooga Whiskey, of course, out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. The distillers there really helped shape the laws in Tennessee. Tennessee was one of those backward states. While they were home to Jack Daniels or dry counties everywhere, there were laws against distilling. There were laws against the use of, everything. Like, it was a very difficult state to operate a distillery. And Chattanooga came in and they helped lobby for a lot of pro distillery laws, and today, they are celebrating their 10th anniversary. So this is a celebration of their 10th anniversary. So no matter what I think of the whiskey, I just want to say a huge congratulations to Chattanooga Whiskey for this awesome accomplishment. 10 years in the business is amazing, but people don't understand how much you all went through to get there. So that's where my hat is really off. I feel like the 10 years of business for Chattanooga Whiskey probably going to taste a little sweeter than a lot of folks, because they would not have had the challenges that Chattanooga did. Of course, it's part of their history. I got links in the description that tell a little bit more about it if you want to catch up on the history of Chattanooga. But today we're here to taste the whiskey, and that's what I'm going to get to. Now, this is a blend of straights, so that means it's a whiskey from essentially two different distilleries or two different states, depending on kind of how they went about it. But this is whiskey from the Chattanooga Whiskey Distillery and from MGP in Indiana. So you're looking at a composite of 60% Tennessee-made product and 40% Indiana-made product. This is a very common trend. Barrel Bourbon is very famous for it. High West, even newer brands like Sweeten's Cove and Breckenridge do a lot of blend of straight. So this is very common. You just look on the back of the label here, and you can see like their composite of it. You can see there we go. There, it's in focus now. So you can see what that's all about there. But yeah, so here we go. And also, there is an age statement on the back. It says everything's over 3 years old, which means if, by law, when you have the law of age statements is that the age statement must be the age of the youngest barrel in the batch. So that's the law. So if you have 20 barrels that are 15 years old and one barrel that's 3 years old, you'd have to state that's 3 years old. So no one's doing it like that, but that is the situation. Okay, so the nose, kind of bread-like, yeast-like, little rolls like a rye roll. Kind of I'd say a little sweet too. This reminds me, there's some buttery here, so just like a little butter on a yeast rye roll, like a rye roll that's fluffy, which rye rolls tend to be a little bit more dense. On the palate, it's kind of coming on just like a little touch smoky. There's some cherry notes here. There are some there's like a maple Pop-Tart. And then there's just a little, it's like a touch of astringency. I'm not a fan of astringency, and I really find astringency to really resonate on the front sides of my palate. So that's like, it'll light up really big there, and it's just a little bit on the left side of the palate. So I'm going to taste again. That might just be kind of a fluke in the tasting, but there's a lot of character here in this whiskey. A lot of character. And I would say it's not following the nose. It's quite a bit sweeter than I was anticipating it to be. On the nose, it was so rich in like these bread notes. I was anticipating a very like savory forward bread like kind of flavor profile, but on the palate, you get a maple Pop-Tart in your life, and that flavor. It's just amazing. Like that's the brown sugar Pop-Tart, maple Pop-Tart. Yeah, it's got a lot of Pop-Tart stuff going on. I don't know what that says about me, because maybe the Pop-Tarts where the chunkiness comes from as a kid. I love Pop-Tarts. That Family Guy quote, "Put butter on a Pop-Tart"? Tell me you know that Family Guy episode, butter on a Pop-Tart, because it's so freaking good. My wife and I, we just kind of randomly go around the house and start singing it. Yeah, we're crazy. Okay, I'm glad I did not judge the astringency note on that first taste. There's a little bit of that astringency area kind of getting blown up, but it's very, in comparison to the first taste, it's very minute. The rest of it is that Pop-Tart note I'm talking about. There's that smoke note, and there's a kind of like a hard fruit candy here. So it's fruit like I'm having a hard time describe it. Maybe a good way to put it would be like it's like a fruit cake, like the Christmas fruit cake you get. So there's some fruitiness here, and then like a little black licorice kind of note. So yeah, I mean overall this is very good. I'd say the one ding on it is that the finish is not as powerful as the taste. The finish is really it's resonating on the back palate, so it's kind of a little bit on that spice area, but it's not there for long. It's just there for a medium. It's there for a good medium amount of time. But overall, I think it's a very, very good whiskey, and I think it would go great with a cigar. Which, for those who don't know, which I haven't really told anybody, but I've got a cigar line coming out. I'll be telling you all more about that later on down the line, but I think this would go really well with a nice mild to medium cigar, maybe even a cigarillo. Yeah, I see that. But I like this whiskey a lot. It's hitting home runs for me on the nose, on the taste, the finish. Let's call it a double. But overall, this is a solid B plus. Maybe in that A range, but big. It's a big win for a whiskey company that I think doesn't get enough credit for the amount of things that it's done for the craft distilling space. And this is a great release into the wild. So if you get a chance, get it for no reason other than to celebrate a distillery that's done so much for the industry. But that's going to do it for this review. If you would like to see more honest reviews, click that subscribe button. And if you want to, become a member. In the member community, we do live streams all the time. But I appreciate you tuning in, and be safe out there, and take care of one another. Cheers.